Hello students, today we will start a new chapter, quadrilateral. So in our previous chapters we learned about triangles. Now what is triangle? A triangle is a three-sided closed figure. So quadrilateral is a four-sided closed figure. So that is, if we join any 4 points, then we get a quadrilateral. Now, if the 4 points are like this, suppose we have 3 collinear points, that is lie on the same line, and if we join these 4 points, then we get a straight line. Now, if we have 4 points like this, that is 3 points are on the same line, that is collinear, and one is not collinear, then if we join, we get a triangle. Now, if the 4 points are like this, if the 4 points are, that is, if we join these 4 points, then we get a four-sided closed figure, so it's a quadrilateral. But the 4 points may be like this also. That is, if we join these 4 points, then we may get the figure like this also. But it is called a concave quadrilateral. But we will not discuss about this quadrilateral here. We will discuss only this type of quadrilaterals in our studies. So, quadrilateral is a figure formed by joining 4 points in an order. That means the figure which we get by joining 4 points which are not on the same line in order, we get a quadrilateral. We draw a quadrilateral here. Any quadrilateral A, B, C, D. Then this quadrilateral have 4 vertices, A, B, C, D, called, that is A, B, C, D are the 4 vertices, and it has 4 angles, that is angle A, angle B, angle C, and angle D. That is, this is angle A, this is angle B, this is angle C, and this is angle D, and it has 4 sides. So 4 sides are written like this: AB, BC, CD, and DA or AD. That is AB, BC, CD, and AD or DA are the 4 sides. That is, in a quadrilateral there are 4 vertices, 4 angles, and 4 sides. And if we join the 2 opposite vertices AC and BD, then if we join AC and BD, then they are called diagonals. They are called diagonals. That is, diagonals is a line joining, which you get by joining the 2 opposite vertices of a quadrilateral. So, our next topic is angle sum property of a quadrilateral. So, recall the angle sum property of triangle. So, in a triangle, the sum of the 3 angles of a triangle is 180 degree, and similarly in a quadrilateral the sum of the angles, that is 4 angles, is 360 degree, which is called the angle sum property. So now if we draw A, B, CD is a quadrilateral. So property is the sum of the angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. The sum of the angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. 360 degree. So it's called angle sum property. Now we have to prove it. So special statement, because a quadrilateral, but the name of the quadrilateral is not given here. So you have to identify the figure. It's called special statement. Special statement. So we draw A, B, C, D. So let A, B, C, D be a quadrilateral. So let ABCD be a quadrilateral. To prove what I have to prove, angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D is equal to 360 degree. Now we will use the angle sum property of triangle. So we have to make this quadrilateral to triangle. So we have to draw a diagonal here. That means we have to construct. We have to write a construction. So to make the proof easier, we join AC. Some of you may join BD also. Now proof. So how we prove it? So by this diagonal, the quadrilateral is divided into two triangles, and sum of the angles of this quadrilateral, first triangle, sum of the angles of this first triangle is 180 degree, and sum of these angles of the triangle ABC is also 180 degree. Now if we add all the angles, we get 180 plus 180, 360 degree. So write this. In triangle ABC we have, so ABC, that is in this triangle. So first angle is, that is BAC, angle BAC plus angle ABC, or you may write direct B also, angle B plus angle this. Here you can't write angle A because angle A is this whole, but we will take only ABAC, this angle only. That's why you can write here angle A. Here also you can't write angle C because we take only one part of this angle C. So BCA, angle BCA is equal to 180 degree. So by angle sum property of a triangle, give it number 1. If we take this triangle ACD, in triangle ACD we have in this triangle ACD, angle, this angle DAC plus this angle D plus this angle DCA DCA is equal to 180 degree. Now right here angle sum property of a triangle, give it number 2. Now 1 plus 2 implies, if we add this left hand side and left hand side is equal to right hand side plus right hand side. So angle BAC plus angle B plus angle BCA plus angle DAC plus angle D plus angle DCA is equal to 180 plus 180 degree. Implies this BAC means angle A and DAC means also angle A, this angle. So write them together. Angle BAC plus angle DAC plus angle B plus this BCA and DCA. Angle BCA plus angle DCA plus this angle D is equal to 180 plus 180 is 360 degree. Now this implies if we add BAC and DAC, BAC this angle and DAC this angle, if we add these two angles, we get the whole angle A. It is angle A plus this angle B plus BCA this angle plus DCA this angle. That is, if we add this BCA and DCA, we get angle C plus angle D is equal to 360 degree. So which is the required proof. So this is an important proof as the angle sum property of a triangle. So practice it. So our next topic is types of quadrilateral. Now we will draw some figures, that is some quadrilaterals here. So these are some special type of quadrilateral. It is, in this quadrilateral there are some properties. So see in this first figure. So in this first figure, this line, suppose we write it A, B, C, D, then AB and CD of this quadrilateral are parallel to each other, but AD and BC are not parallel. That is, only one pair of sides are parallel, and this type of quadrilateral is called trapezium. It's called trapezium. Trapezium. Next one, suppose E, F, G, H. It's also a quadrilateral, but in this figure, both the opposite pair, that is EF and HG and FG and EH are parallel to each other. That is, both the opposite this are parallel to each other. Then this type of quadrilateral is called parallelogram. This is called parallelogram. That is, in a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel. Now, in this figure, opposite sides are parallel, but there is an extra condition that this angle, each angle is 90 degree. So, if the angles of a parallelogram becomes 90 degree, then this type of parallelogram or this type of quadrilateral is called rectangle. rectangle. Here it's a rectangle that is its sides are parallel, opposite sides are parallel, and angles are also 90 degree. But here all the sides are equal. That is, in a rectangle, opposite pairs of sides are equal and parallel. But here all the four sides, suppose A, B, C, D, if we take A, B, C, D, then A, B, B, C, C, D and D, A, all sides are equal, all angles are 90 degree and opposite sides are also parallel. So it's called square. And here, if you push this square here, then it becomes like this. That is, all sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel, but these angles are not 90 degree. Angles are different. Then this is called rhombus. Rhombus. And in this figure, see, these two sides are equal. Suppose W, X, Y, Z is the figure. Then WX and WZ are two equal sides, and XY and ZY, these two are equal sides. That is, two pairs of adjacent sides are equal, and this type of figure is called kite. So these are the some special types of quadrilateral. But in this chapter we will study about this parallelogram, because rectangle is also a parallelogram, this square is also a parallelogram because opposite sides are parallel. Next, rhombus is also a parallelogram. That is, if we study parallelogram, then actually we will study four figures together. So in case of trapezium, only one pair of opposite sides are parallel, but here in these four figures, all the opposite sides, that is, there are two opposite sides, they are parallel to each other. Now in case of trapezium and parallelogram, see, if a pair of opposite sides is parallel, then it's called trapezium. So here a pair of opposite sides is parallel. That means a parallelogram may also called trapezium. That is, a parallelogram is also a trapezium, but a trapezium is not a parallelogram. Similarly, a rectangle is a parallelogram, because we can consider a rectangle as parallelogram, but a parallelogram cannot be considered as rectangle because it has another special property, that is, angles are 90 degree. But in a parallelogram, angles are not 90 degree. That means rectangles are parallelogram, but the parallelograms are not rectangle. Similarly, a square is a parallelogram, but the parallelogram is not a square. Similarly, a square is a rectangle. That is, these opposite sides are parallel and its angles are 90 degree. But a rectangle may not be a square. That is, in a rectangle, all sides may not be equal. That is, square is a rectangle, but rectangle may not be a square. Similarly, a square can be considered as rhombus, because in case of rhombus, all sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. Here also all sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. That is, that square can be considered as rhombus, but a rhombus cannot be considered as square, because in a rhombus the angles are not 90 degree. Remember it. That is, rhombus cannot be considered as a square, but a square can be considered as rhombus. That is, a square can be considered as rectangle. A square can be considered as parallelogram. That is, square may be anyone. That is, it may be a parallelogram, may be a rectangle, it may be a rhombus. Okay. So remember these properties. So our next topic is properties of a parallelogram, and in the first property is theorem 8.1. It's given. So a diagonal of a parallelogram divides it into two congruent triangles. That is, if we have A, B, C, D is a parallelogram, and if we draw a diagonal either BD or AC, then it divides into two triangles, and we have to prove that these two are congruent triangles. So this proof we can do using an activity. Suppose we take a parallelogram here. This is a parallelogram, and in this parallelogram we draw a diagonal here, and now we will cut it through this diagonal. Then we will get two triangles here. Now see what happened. So we cut this parallelogram, first to the parallelogram, and we cut it through its diagonal. Now we get two triangles here. Now if we put one triangle on another, then it becomes exactly same. That is, these two triangles are exactly same. That means if they are exactly same, they are called congruent. That is, its sides, its angles are equal. So you can do it at your home also. Now we have to prove it using this theoretically. So proof part is, so parallelogram, this is the parallelogram. So let AB CD be a parallelogram, and AC or BD, you may draw anyone. AC be any diagonal. AC be any diagonal. So we draw this AC. Now you have to show that these two triangles are congruent. To prove triangle ABC, that is this triangle, is congruent with triangle CDA. So to prove part is very easy. So since it is a parallelogram, so opposite sides are parallel. So AB and CD are parallel. So AB and CD are parallel first, and AC is a transversal. That's why this angle BAC is equal to angle DCA. Why they are equal? They are alternate interior angle. So alternate interior angles are equal. Similarly, BC and AD are also parallel, and BC and AD are also parallel, and AC is transversal. That's why this angle and this angle, these two angles are also equal. That is, in these two triangles we get two pairs of angles are equal, and this AC is common side. So by angle side angle we get the two triangles are congruent. It's easy. First write in triangle ABC and triangle CDA we have angle BAC, that is this angle, is equal to angle DCA, right? alternate interior angles, because since AB parallel CD and AC is transversal. So this is the property. Next one, angle BCA is equal to this angle DAC, angle DAC. This also same, alternate interior angles, since BC is parallel to AD and AC is transversal, and AC equal to CA. Here AC, first and third, that is first and third, CA. AC equal to CA, it's common side. That is, we get two angles and one sides are equal. Therefore, triangle ABC is congruent triangle CDA by angle, side angle criteria or congruence rule. So, which is the, and write that is a diagonal of a parallelogram divides it into two congruent triangles. So, easy sum. So, try it. So, next theorem is theorem 8.2. In a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. Suppose ABCD is a parallelogram. Now we have to prove that the opposite sides, that is AB is equal to DC and BC is equal to AD. So here the proof part is same, but in place of, right, let ABCD be a parallelogram here, and to prove, what we have to prove, that AB is equal to DC and BC is equal to AD. We have to prove it. That is, opposite sides are equal. Now we have to draw this AC, that is construction. We have to write a construction part here. So to make the proof easier, we draw the diagonal AC. Next proof part is exactly same as theorem 8.1. After getting ABC and DCA, this ABC and DCA are two congruent triangles, then we get AB equal to CD, that is AB is equal to CD, that is CPCT, and this BC is equal to DA, second third, that is CPCT. Only you have to write this part. That is, after this congruent ABC is congruent to CDA, you have to write AB is equal to CD and BC equal to DA, in bracket CPCT. That is, the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. So next theorem 8.2, proof part, write yourself. Okay, thank you.